Some armored punk and a PI in Chicago access files on my guys.
I need you to come get me. My cover's blown.
This episode of Reacher, Season 3 kicks off in Boston, where we get to see Duffy and Reacher driving to make their trip to Los Angeles, but firstly, Duffy insisted to meet with an old friend first before leaving. Once the stop was made, the two had a pretty good conversation with the elderly lady, who was simply Teresa's grandmother. After which, she insisted they all have something to eat together. Teresa's grandmother seems to suspect that there is a connection between Reacher and Duffy, but Reacher jokingly revealed to her that Duffy simply just loved him for his body.
She just wants me for my body.
After this discussion, Teresa's grandmother talked about her little granddaughter. So in order to calm her down, Duffy gave her some assurance that they are making progress in the search for her granddaughter, and they will also do everything in their power to bring Teresa back home. This whole sequence is genuinely bittersweet as you see the old-timer giving the young one some romantic advice while also reminiscing about Teresa and hoping that she'll come back. The scene shifted to Chicago, where we get to see Neagley rough-handling a man known as Costopoulos, who seems to be the local gangster who was hired by Quinn to send his men to kill Neagley. Since Jack hasn't told Neagley anything about Quinn's operations, she threatened him with death if he doesn't speak up, and obviously, she got all the information she needs out of Costopoulos on Xavier Quinn and also especially on their business name Bazaar. Costopoulos also went further by telling her that at the moment, he doesn't work with Quinn due to his men's failed attempt to kill her, and Quinn gunman passed himself off as some kind of carpet king, so therefore, Quinn probably figured out Neagley knows about their dirty business. However, he feels that since Quinn was the one who hired a hit on Neagley, it simply means something had gone wrong, and Costopoulos is certain that Quinn is cleaning up before raising his anchor again. Once this was over, Neagley punches Costopoulos on the face, before telling him to send more guys next time.
Next time you want to kill me, send more guys.
As Neagley makes her way to Maine, Duffy and Reacher continue to devise a plan and also investigate about their target. In the evening, after Reacher contacts his informant about their suspect, he informed Duffy that as of now, their success rate to save Teresa if everything goes as planned tomorrow would move from 2% to 25%.
We're to 25%, so...
That's good.
After hearing such news, Reacher and Duffy then proceeded to have the time of their life. The next day, Jack and Duffy corner Prado, who is their prime target, and get him to take them to his art gallery.
Jam you up for years with court dates and expensive lawyers, or you can come with us.
Once Jack and Duffy are sure that Prado doesn't have his security to help him out, they threaten him with jail time if he doesn't get them a meeting with Beck. The moment Prado does Jack and Duffy's bidding, Duffy makes a call to the DA, and they swoop in to see if they can get some dirt on him.
There's the face. There's the cousin Rhonda face, right there.
Afterwards, we get to see Reacher and his crew watching from afar as Beck arrive to speak with Neagley, who in return act as the buyer. As soon as Beck enters the frame, it becomes clear that he's paid the price for bringing Jack into his operations by cutting off his ear. Neagley tells him that she was sent by Reacher. However, Beck, realizing what Quinn had done to him, seems to be doing anything in his powers to prevent Quinn from hurting Richard anymore. But that doesn't mean Beck is in the clear. Neagley says that Quinn has a history of killing off people once they are of no use to him. Given how Quinn is nearing his latest deal, it's obvious that he is going to murder Beck and Richard. Neagley tells Beck that if he wants to come out of this ordeal alive, he needs to tell her the location of the sale, so that Jack can take care of Quinn before Quinn can harm Beck and Richard. The issue here is that Beck has been relegated to need-to-know basis because of his latest missteps, and Quinn is in a very high alert of the Fed, and it's obvious only few will know his dirty business move. Beck revealed to Neagley that he only knows that the buyers from Yemen are landing at a private airfield. Beyond that, he has no idea, and he has been told to just enjoy his 50th birthday party while he still can. Neagley urges Beck to try and find out everything he can about the sale, and also get some info on where Teresa is being held, because without that, Jack can't really do anything. While the location of the sale continues to be a mystery, the scene cut to Quinn arriving in a very secluded basement, where we finally get a glimpse of Teresa, who is being held in the basement of the abandoned warehouse and is being pumped with drugs so that she doesn't kick up a fuss.
Got no idea. Look, you have red hair.
On the other hand, Jack, Duffy, Neagley, and Guillermo devise a plan for their next steps while they all eat and wait for Beck's call. Guillermo zeroes in on Sanford Seacoast Regional Airport as the one that is going to be used by the Yemeni buyers coming to negotiate with Beck and Quinn. Based on that hunch, Duffy makes some calls to the Federal Aviation Administration. Neagley then takes Jack for a private conversation, firstly about Quinn not being dead, and secondly, a chat about how he is feeling regarding involving her and Duffy in this mission, for two very different reasons, by the way. Jack says that he trusts everyone to pull their weight, including Guillermo, and he has learned to compartmentalize his personal feelings well enough to not let them come in the way of him and the job at hand. Meanwhile, Neagley follows the Yemeni buyers, while Beck informs Quinn that all the guns are ready to be presented for sale. Beck asks Quinn where the truck full of guns is supposed to go, so that he can relay the information to Jack. Quinn tells Beck that the transaction is going to take place at the Bullhead salvage yard. So since the transaction is going to happen in the middle of the party, and Beck won't be around to look out for Richard, he tries his best to get Quinn's permission to let Richard leave. Quinn immediately goes to threaten Beck and tells him to shut up and just do the job that has been assigned to him.
Get the fuck out of my office.
Neagley followed the buyers to their location and immediately called Reacher, and just then, Beck called Reacher to inform him of the location where the business will be held at. So just as Reacher prepared to leave for the location, he stopped Duffy and her partner. They informed Reacher that they want to bring in the ATF because the mission has become too risky, and they think that the four of them can't pull this off on their own anymore. Jack thinks that he won't get his vengeance against Quinn, and reminded them that justice won't be served for his dead friends which Quinn had killed, especially for the death of Cole. But his passionate words don't scare Guillermo and Duffy, and they set up a meeting with the ATF anyways. After the whole meeting, the ATF chief named Doug Sears reprimands Duffy and Guillermo for taking so long to bring all this information to them. But when they try to hijack the mission, Duffy and Guillermo argue that it's not right. However, Duffy and Guillermo's protests fall on deaf ears, and Sears tells them to stay in the observation van on the boundary of 50-yard out so that they don't interfere in the ATF's efforts to stop the gun sale. Immediately, Reacher warns Sears that Quinn will look to hurt Richard, but Sears is too angry to give a damn about the nitty-gritty of this operation. Reacher continued to warn him that the man behind all this is known as Xavier Quinn, who used to work with him in the military and got away a decade ago, but Reacher made a promise also that he would be the one to take him down. But yet again, the ATF leader still doesn't care about all this, as he claims this mission is now theirs. He also shuts Reacher down. Before leaving the office, Sears tells Duffy and Guillermo their professional careers are as good as over, so they should start writing their goodbye letters to their colleagues. At the safe house, Reacher takes a nap, and just then, Duffy addresses an obviously sad Reacher, so that he understands that his mission to personally see to Quinn's death could risk Teresa's life. It seems like Reacher realizes the error of his ways, but that is not going to stop him from doing what he thinks is right. Duffy also informed Reacher that she can't let Teresa to be the next Cole. Beck and his boys arrange things for the whole event. Then he heads over to his house to dress up for his birthday party. Once he was back home, he goes to meet Richard and warn him to lock himself up in his room right when the sale is about to go down, because Beck has a feeling that Quinn will try to do something to him if things goes bad. Just as they both discussed, Quinn arrived at the room to take Beck with him. Back to the ATF team, they sets up their people in and around the salvage yard, while Duffy and Reacher stay back in a van to watch. Reacher, who can't take this anymore, walked out of the van in anger to take some air. Unfortunately, he just went out to get his sniper ready, which Duffy saw in shock. As Reacher goes against protocol by setting his sniper rifle, because he doesn't trust the ATF to kill Quinn. Reacher soon realized that the whole sale is a ruse or trap set up by Quinn when he gives a call to Neagley, and she says that the buyers are not at the salvage yard, they are at Beck's estate. It's pretty obvious that Quinn wants to punish Beck for his insolence, thereby putting him in front of the whole ordeal. The episode 7 of Reacher then came to an end. Kindly subscribe to get updated on the final episode next week. Thanks for watching and goodbye.